Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Noelia and I talk about all things curly, beauty, and a little bit of lifestyle. So for today's video, I don't have an exact plan as to how I want today to kind of pan out. I did want to share an update of what my hair looks like 3 days after a recent wash and go that I shared with you guys. I will share all the details in a few. But I did want to share an update on that. I also wanted to touch up on a question that you guys have been asking me a lot recently. When do you know that you should cut your hair? So I feel like this is a very tricky question, and I'm gonna give you guys a few tips on what helped me decide whether or not you should and should not cut your hair, whether you should big chop, what to do. But before we get into this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the alerts so you know when I post my next video. I'm also gonna attach my social handles so you guys could follow me on there as well. I post a ton of curly content, so go check me out. But without further ado, let's get right into this video. Okay guys, so as you know, I recently reviewed the Bumble and Bumble BB Curl newly formulated collection, and you guys saw my thoughts on that. I figured I would give you guys an update. I did not want to go ahead and wash my hair right away just because I felt like I did a lot to my hair that day. It was a full-blown wash day, so I didn't want to wash it again the next day. So I've decided, let me see what happens to my hair over the course of the next few days. So I did wash my hair 2 days ago, right? So this is day 2 hair. And I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So, yes, I have tied it back because I've had no choice, but this is what my hair looks like after 2 days. Yeah, this is it. I have been sleeping with a satin bonnet, my satin pillowcase, you already know. I've been trying to preserve them, but like I said in that video, the next day when I woke up, my hair was like insane. So this is what it looks like. Little to no curl pattern going on right now. And yeah, this is it. This is what we're working with. So I think for the sake of today's video, as I share with you guys my tips on knowing when to cut your hair or what signs to look for when you know you're ready to cut your hair, I think as I'm explaining all of that to you guys, I might just refresh my hair. Because again, my hair is clean. It's just. So I think it's best if I just refresh my hair, and I think I might as well refresh it while I'm talking to you guys about all of this because why not? I'm gonna go ahead and wet my hair down, and I'm gonna go ahead and just grab either the Eco Styler gel or the Wetline Extreme gel. I think I'm gonna do the Wetline Extreme gel because I feel like it tends to mix well better with most products. So if it doesn't mix well, whatever, I'll just wash my hair, but I'm gonna just give it a shot. I'm not gonna do the 3 product test on my hand because I used a ton of different products in my hair for that BB Curl review, so I don't wanna do all that. So we're just gonna risk it, see what happens, and let's see. Okay, you guys, so I went ahead and wet my hair down, so we're gonna go ahead and start refreshing. I am using my typical extra large towel from Lexa collection. I will go ahead and tag it down below because it's literally one of my favorite towels, because it's just so big and easy. You can use it for your hair and you can use it just to make sure your shirt doesn't get wet. Okay, so you guys know how I do this. So I'm just gonna be using the Wetline Extreme gel, and then we'll chat a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a brief story on how I decided to actually cut my hair. So I had no intentions of cutting my hair as short as I did when I did. A little background story on myself. I have always naturally just been very attached to my hair. I've always been someone who was attached to length. So I honestly, there was a point in my life where I just didn't care if my hair was damaged, if my hair didn't curl. I was just like, well, I'm not cutting length. A few videos ago, I did discuss that when I was going through my natural hair journey, I would pay. Like, I had no issues paying for the best haircut, for paying for the best stylist. But I used to waste my money because I would go and get haircuts and tell them, please just don't touch length. And like the stylist would tell me, like, girl, you are literally wasting your money if you don't cut length because most of your length is dead. But I had every ounce of hope that I would be able to bring back those curls. And it was a struggle. Like I said, I went and got multiple haircuts. I got 2 diva cuts before I even started getting on Instagram and sharing my story with you guys and sharing my tips and all of that. So 2 whole diva cuts. And diva cuts are expensive. For those who don't know, diva cuts run from about 110 to about 180, depending on the type of stylist you had. And of course, I always wanted to go with the best, so I used to pay like, I think it was like 150, 160 for my haircuts. So there's that. It wasn't until I got on Instagram and was sharing my story with you guys and realized that products just were not working in my hair because I had multiple curl patterns, and how I was out here preaching to you guys, cut that length off, cut the heat damage off, like all of that. I was preaching things that I personally wasn't following myself. And I'm tired of the hair shamers where people are just like, it's just length, it's just hair. For a lot of us, it's really not just hair. It took me a while to accept that my hair really is just hair. Like now I'm in a place in my life where I appreciate health over length. But at one point, that wasn't even a thing for me. That was not even anything that even crossed my mind, because I just wanted my hair to be long. That's something that I've always had, and it's something that I've always just pinned to being beautiful. What I will say is the only way to recover from heat damage is by cutting it off. No matter what product you see on the market that says it will help bring back heat damage, it will help bring back heat damage. If you have been working on your hair, like working on your hair for a few months now, and you see that that pattern is just not doing anything, it's just not changing, it's just staying exactly the way it was, honestly, it's not gonna come back. It's just not gonna come back. And I just feel like there are a lot of misleading products on the market that say that they help revitalize heat damage and all that. So I was one of those people who fell privy to that. I really thought that I was gonna be able to bring back my heat damage. It's not gonna happen, guys. The best way to get rid of heat damage is by cutting it. You don't have to cut your hair and do a whole big chop. That's just not necessarily a thing. So I'll tell you guys your two options. If you are currently struggling with heat damage and you want your curls back, and you've done everything in your power product-wise to bring your curls back and nothing's happening, it's all dependent on what your goals are. So if your goal is to have healthy curls now, like ASAP, then my biggest suggestion to you is just cutting off all of your heat damage. Now, if you're not ready for that, you want to ease your way into getting your natural hair and just working your way through your natural hair journey, then I say just transition and take your time. You don't have to do a big chop to have healthy curls. You can go through your natural hair journey by just transitioning. Or you could do what I did. In the beginning, I was transitioning. I would just go every time to get a haircut and just cut some of my hair off. I never just went full force and cut it all off. So I had a plan. I said, in the next 3 haircuts, I should be good. It wasn't until, like I said, I was on social media and a lot of you guys were calling me out. You guys were saying, how are you gonna preach hair health when you look like you have relaxed hair? How are you gonna preach hair health if you're telling us to cut your hair and you're not cutting your hair? And I was just like, you know what? They're not wrong. One day, for one of my scheduled cuts with Ona, I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna cut this off. I'm gonna cut it off. There's nothing that I can do to bring these back. I could either A, wait another 2-3 years to fully get my hair to where I want it to be, or just make one sudden decision that will just make the whole process seamless, because now I'm gonna have one unison curl pattern and it's gonna be so much easier. Sorry for this lighting, it's a little crazy, but I decided one day I was gonna just go get a big chop. I was just like, I'm not gonna deal with it anymore, I'm tired. I literally cut off 6 inches. If you are somebody who doesn't know exactly what to do, but you've contemplated both, I'll give you a few pros and cons of doing both. So let's start with transitioning. The pros to transitioning is being able to ease your way into it and not have to do such a drastic change right away. I do feel like when you get to ease your way into it, that's a good method for some people who are just not big on change. I'm somebody who was not big on change. I was not a fan of just having short hair in general. I was just like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just be able to have some length and maybe do some protective styles. Wow, I'm really running out of this gel. Just do some protective styles and just be able to do more, because when your hair is longer, you do feel like you could do more. You could throw it up in a bun. Or transitioning does give you the option to retain length, but also just take your time with the process. You get to try different products and kind of learn more about your hair before you actually make the decision to cut it. The quick cons to transitioning is just how long it takes. if you want instant results, you're not gonna get them with transitioning. It's gonna take some time. You just have to be very patient. And having multiple curl patterns is very, very frustrating. Dealing with multiple curl patterns and having to be super duper gentle. I mean, regardless of the fact you have to be gentle with your hair, but transitioning hair, when you have multiple patterns, you have to be very, very gentle. Your hair tends to break more often. So it's just important to just be, you have to really just be on top of your hair. Plus, I would say is the fact that you're just easing your way into it and there's no sudden change. But otherwise, it's just a matter of how quickly you want to see your results. Now, if you're not ready and you really want to ease your way into it, 100% go into transitioning. But what I will say, the big chop for me was not necessarily a big chop because I know a lot of people say big chop and they like literally went real big chop. I just ultimately just cut off about 6 inches, almost 7. It was a lot. I cut off a lot of hair to the point where I couldn't even put my hair in a bun. So the cons is not knowing how your hair is gonna grow out, like not knowing anything about your hair and just pretty much learning your hair again, because now that you have one curl pattern and it's all short, like you're not expecting, at least I wasn't expecting, because I didn't do enough research before I did a big chop. I kind of just impulsively did it. You don't know how to style your hair for bed. You don't know how your hair is gonna react to certain products. You don't know if what you did when you were transitioning is gonna work when you do a big chop. Trying and testing out products with an even unison curl pattern outweighs anything else. That is probably the best thing ever. So that's definitely something that I would say was like the biggest, best decision I've made in that sense, where I didn't have to worry about having multiple curl patterns. Everything I did looked nice. Even though it was short, it all looked nice because it all looked unison. So that to me was just all I wanted. That was literally my dream. But it's just a game of trial and error. And in my opinion, if you're ready and you feel like you are just tired of dealing with having to deal with multiple curl patterns, not having an idea of what you're gonna do with your hair, and hating how your hair looks with 6 or 7 different textures and just not being happy overall, I just highly recommend doing a big chop if you're ready. Now, if you're not ready, then I don't recommend it at all. I do feel like in a sense I wasn't really ready. I just was tired of all the cons that came with transitioning that I just decided I'm just gonna do it. That's it, I'm done. I think that the way I did it, I wouldn't change it for the world because it made me appreciate my big chop a lot more. Yes, it is a huge change and it's something that people don't tell you about because you don't know until you go through your own. I did not know how to style my hair for bed. Like I had no idea what I was doing. But I can honestly, truly say that doing a big chop was probably the best decision I've ever done for my curls. In a year, my hair went from being up here to this. It's about to be 2 years since my big chop because 2021 February will be 2 years. So it's been a year. It's been a year and it's almost been 2 years. And my hair has just been flourishing. And you guys who have been following me on Instagram, you guys have seen it yourselves. My hair has just been growing. It's just been minding its business. It's been doing the damn thing. I'm gonna put a pause on my little rant there. I just finished refreshing my hair. As you guys can see, this definition, this gel does me so good. Love this gel more than anything on this earth, I swear. So I'm gonna go ahead and diffuse my hair and then I will come right back to you guys and show you guys my final results. Okay, so I had to put the shade down a little bit because the sun is acting up. So these are my refreshed results. As expected with the Wetline Extreme Gel, it always holds it down. So these results will probably last me like the next 3 to 4 days, depending on what I choose to do with my hair. If I tie it up, of course it'll last me less, but if I leave it alone, it should last me about 3 to 4 days. Thank God. I try not to let my wash days go to waste. I try my best to refresh them as best as I can because I don't want to continuously shampoo my hair if I don't have to. But if I have to, I definitely will. So I'm happy that it worked out. So in conclusion to everything I said in this video, if you are somebody who is ready to make the change and you want to see instant results, highly, highly, highly recommend you just getting a big chop. Like I said, it's literally one of the best decisions I've ever made for myself. And I really wish, honestly, if I can go back in time and shift my way of thinking, I would have made this decision so much sooner, because my hair would have been in a different space by now. My hair would have been so much longer and it just would have been so much more different. But I'm happy that it kind of worked out the same way that it did, because it helped me learn more about myself and my hair along the process. So, I mean, everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't change it, but if I could shift my way of thinking, I definitely would have decided to do this a lot sooner, because I don't think I've ever seen my curls this healthy. I didn't even know my curls were this curly. I had no idea. It wasn't until I started actually like going through my natural hair journey that I realized, like, oh my God, my hair is actually a tighter texture. But since I used to straighten my hair all the time, my hair was more like a looser curl. It was curly, but it was like a looser curl, so I never noticed that like my ringlets were so tight. So yeah, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss another video. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.